Everyone is special, but there are some more special than others. These people are born with conditions that set them apart from others and make them struggle more with their existence. However, despite the odds stacked against them from birth, some exceptional ones have managed to work towards living a normal life, while some sadly didn't make it. Here are 10 strangest people who were born different. Before we dive into this list, make sure to leave a like on this video. Also, if you would like to join this month's Star 5 giveaway of a brand new iPhone 14, then all you have to do is subscribe to our channel and watch this video until the end to find and comment the hidden message. Good luck. Number 10, Faith and Hope Young. Faith and Hope Young were born with a rare ailment known as diprosopis. According to medical research, twins born with this rare condition share vital organs, with the exception of the brain and face. Before their miraculous birth on the 8th of May, a series of early pregnancy scans had shown that their mother was carrying a form of rare conjoined babies. Although her doctors recommended that she terminate the pregnancy, she opted to push on because she believes the twins might stand a chance after their birth. With two symmetrical faces, two brains linked by one brainstem and a single body, the two girls have made tremendous progress in the first few weeks of their birth. However, despite every attempt to keep the girls alive after a surgical operation to separate them, Faith didn't survive the operation, and 23 days later, her sister Hope also died from the complexities of her condition. Number 9, Rudy Santos Octoman. You've heard of conjoined twins, but have you heard of a man who ate his twin while in the womb? Meet Rudy Santos, the Philippines-born man with an extra leg and arm growing from his abdomen and pelvis. Rudy Santos has lived over 70 years with a parasitic twin. During pregnancy, Rudy Santos' twin was somehow absorbed into his body. Aside from the extra limbs, he has an undeveloped head and an extra pair of nipples attached to his body. When doctors approached him for a possible way to get his parasitic twin out of him, Rudy Santos rejected the offer, claiming he was already fond of the condition. Number 8, Manar Majed. Unlike Rudy Santos, Manar Majed didn't eat up her twin sister but remained attached to her by the head. Sadly, while Manar has a completely formed body, her twin only has a partly formed body with no limbs. With Manar Majed able to urinate, suckle her thumb, and swing her feet, her twin could only blink, cry, and smile on rare occasions. Both sisters enjoyed the company of each other up until 2 months before their first birthday, when it was decided that they wouldn't live for too long without surgery separating them. After the separation, her twin couldn't survive because she depended on her sister's blood to remain alive. A few months later, the only surviving one of the two Cairo-born sisters died from brain complications from the surgery. Number 7, Song Sheng. Scales and fins may be a thing common among animals in the sea, but real humans do grow scales too. And that takes us to China, where we have Song Sheng with the fish syndrome. Believe it or not, little Song Sheng is a strange human born with pores absent from his skin, and doctors have interpreted it to mean that the Chinese boy may never be able to get his body to cool during extreme heat. To prevent possible disaster, his parents keep a bucket of ice aside to keep him as cool as possible. Since Song Sheng finds it difficult to break out a sweat, instead, he sheds them away in scales looking like that of a fish. According to his father, Song Sheng is usually in serious pain, leading to a fever if he doesn't get a cold bath on time. At number 6, Joseph Merrick. Joseph Merrick is perhaps one of the most oddly looking humans that will keep your kids asking if he is human or an actual elephant. Born with Proteus syndrome, Joseph Merrick couldn't do anything by himself because his bones were deformed. His skin developed huge lumps, and because of that, he had to rely on his mother for everything. Although he would go on to become a celebrity in London, he endured rejection from his father and stepmother due to his condition. His unusual head shape prevented him from sleeping like normal humans. Instead, he usually slept while sitting up. After years of sleeping in a rather uncomfortable position, he decided to sleep like a normal human one night, only to die from dislocating his neck. Number 5, Didier Montalvo. You certainly must have come across many humans with a hunchback, but we bet you haven't come across many human turtles. Didier Montalvo grew up with a shocking and strange condition that made moles grow on his back at an incredible speed. In a short time, they formed a huge pile covering more than 90% of his back. With the huge mole mound looking like a shell, Didier Montalvo soon earned himself the moniker the Turtle Boy. Oddly, Didier Montalvo was born during an eclipse, and for this, the locals believe he was sent from the devil. As a result of this shocking belief, he was rejected by neighboring schools and avoided by other children due to his turtle back. However, the Colombian-born native soon found a helper in British surgeon Neil Bustrode, who helped remove the moles and gave Didier Montalvo a new lease on life. Number 4. Mandy Sellers. While Joseph Merrick may not be lucky enough with his sleeping pattern and terrifying head shape, Mandy Sellers, who was also born with a similar condition, would revel in knowing she could lay on her bed like a normal human, but not without the pain of the huge tumor in her legs. With this condition affecting only 120 people worldwide, Mandy Sellers is, unfortunately, one of this rare set of humans. Her legs grew so large that they could weigh nearly 100 kilograms. Since her feet are not spared, she can only use specially designed shoes, costing about $5,000. The Lancashire woman also owns a special vehicle that doesn't require her feet to drive. Well, Mandy Sellers may as well be one of the very few rich humans with this kind of condition. After getting one of her legs amputated due to a deep vein complication, Mandy Sellers has continued to rely on prosthetic legs ever since. Number 3. Petero Byakatonda. Your first glimpse of Petero would probably make you think he's an alien, but no, he has no superpowers. The Ugandan native is sadly a victim of an unusual ailment known as Cruzon syndrome. His condition happens in every 25,000 births, meaning a good number of the world's population may just belong to this family. However, Petero Byakatonda's case is about the most extreme one you'll find. The young Ugandan has a deformed skull that forces his ears down and his eyeballs hanging out of their sockets, thereby leading to serious drawbacks in his sight and hearing conditions. Living in a remote village far from the community hospital meant Petero could not receive treatment at birth. He grew up to become the subject of ridicule in his hometown and would spend most of his time indoors. Petero would later meet a doctor kind enough to help him through a reconstructive surgery that nearly cost his life. Luckily, he prevailed and currently enjoys a happy life. Number 2. Abby and Brittany. Abby and Brittany are certainly not the only cases of conjoined twins on our list, but we may never get to see any twins of similar genetic conditions who have managed to survive to date. Both sisters have separate hearts, spinal cords, lungs, spine, and stomachs. However, each can only control a pair of legs and arms. Abigail and Brittany Hensel have grown up to depend on each other to perform many activities. Definitely no room for misunderstandings. Surprisingly, as of now, we can tell you that both sisters are elementary school tutors who fancy their job. And at number 1, Alamjan Nematilev. Meet the young man who grew up with a baby in his stomach without even knowing. A few years ago, Alamjan got the attention of a schoolteacher with his growing belly. After taking him to the hospital, doctors concluded that Alamjan had a cyst in his stomach. After an operation to rid the Kazakhstan native of his cyst, doctors were shocked to discover that Alamjan had been living with a baby in him for as long as 7 years. Well, we believe that Alamjan probably didn't fancy coming as a conjoined twin and chose only to deliver his twin instead. And that wraps up today's video. Do you think you know any other strange person that beats the ones on this list? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and give us a like, and don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video from Star 5.